Good morning, guys. Good morning once again. Welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. Please do understand that I'm not a politician. I do not have deep knowledge in politics. However, I am a South African citizen who is also a voter, and I do believe that my views count when it comes to political affairs of this beautiful country, and in this case, the political affairs of the African continent, as we look into what is happening in Rwanda, as we have news that out recently, the news of sanctions against Rwanda, and we're going to look at the US. You are sanctioning individuals, fair enough, and then the UK, Germany. So we're going to be reading about that and how Rwanda is reacting towards this. I am not going to engage in issues who's right, who's wrong, who's right. My thing is, I'm just going to share the news as it is, and we comment in the comment section. We exchange the commentary there, your comments and my responses where I can to get, guys. And I really appreciate you being here. And if you have time, kindly watch my ads in full, and that really goes a long way if you have time and we are on Wi-Fi. So let us start reading. This was when the US started sanctioning individuals in the DRC. Treasury sanctions Rwandan minister and senior militant for conflict in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So that was the first one. So when I'm looking at these things, I'm saying to myself, we have this beautiful continent of ours, which is blessed with natural resources and wonderful, wonderful people. And we have the East, we have the West trying to get more influence within this continent. What we need is, we need to see our leaders with one voice that benefits the Africans first, the continent first, before anyone else. All right. This one says it's an article that we are about to read. That's the UK will not pay Rwanda more for scrapped migrant deal. So there was this migrant deal between the UK and Rwanda, which we are still going to read about. Before we enter into that, let me finish what I was saying. What I was saying is, we need our leaders to remove greed from their hearts. That's number one, to make sure that whatever decision that they take is for the greater good of the whole continent. We pray for that day. Whether we'll see it or not is yet to be seen. Maybe not this generation, maybe none of us that are living today will see this. Okay, this article is from the 4th of March 2025. The UK government has said it will not send further payments to Rwanda following the cancellation of the migrant deal between the two countries. On Monday, Rwanda's government spokesperson Yolande Makolo said the UK has asked Rwanda to quietly forgo the remaining payment, reportedly amounting to 50 million euros, based on trust and good faith. You see, they don't want to pay no more. They don't want to pay. They just want to go scot-free and without any debt. Let us see how Rwanda is reacting to this whole thing. However, Rwanda has now asked the UK to pay the remainder of the money it says it is owed, accusing the UK of breaching trust by suspending some aid to the country. In a statement, a UK government spokesperson said that no further payments in relation to this policy will be made, and Rwanda has waived any additional payments. So, okay, guys, this is where we're standing with this situation. But what I'm saying is this aid that they talk about so much, we are not supposed to be receiving aid. We're supposed to be giving aid out. Guys, the row over payments linked to the Rwanda scheme comes after the UK government announced it would halt bilateral aid to the East African country last month, except for support to the poorest and most vulnerable. The UK took the decision to cut aid after accusing the country of supporting M23, a rebel group that has captured swathes of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo in a deadly uprising. The aid cuts have amounted to unjustified punitive measures to coerce Rwanda into compromising our national security, Makolo said on Monday. Rwanda has often denied backing the M23 rebel group, but has recently been more defensive, saying it has had to take measures to deal with the existential threat posed by genocidal militia near its borders. UN experts have previously estimated that between 3,000 and 4,000 Rwandan troops are in eastern DR Congo. Makolo said Rwanda would now be following up on outstanding payments relating to the migrant deal to which the UK was legally bound. Yo, guys. Yay, it's a mess. That's what I'm saying. We need to find solutions within ourselves. Whether people go to bed without food, we need to sort out ourselves using our own resources that we have as this beautiful continent. We need to stop fighting amongst ourselves. The plan to deport some asylum seekers to Rwanda, devised by the previous conservative government in 2022, cost the UK 240 million euros before being scrapped by Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer. Speaking in July last year, shortly after being elected, Starmer said the plan was dead and buried, arguing that the scheme had never been a deterrent and would only deport less than 1% of small boat arrivals. In a statement, a UK government spokesperson said the Home Secretary has been clear that the costly migration and economic development partnership with Rwanda wasted taxpayer money and should not continue. I was curious. I wanted to know how that deal that they had. How did it look like? The UK and Rwanda Migration and Economic Development Partnership was an immigration policy proposed by the governments of Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, and Rishi Sunak, whereby people whom the United Kingdom identify as illegal immigrants or asylum seekers would have been relocated to Rwanda for processing asylum and resettlement. Those who were successful in claiming asylum would have remained in Rwanda, and they would not have been permitted to return to the United Kingdom. The UK would invest in a development fund for Rwanda and financially support migrants' relocation and accommodation costs to move to Rwanda. The first flight for this plan received legal clearance from the High Court of Justice and was scheduled for 14 June 2022. At last-minute interim measure by the European Court of Human Rights led to the plan being halted until the conclusion of the legal action in the UK. At the end of 2022, the High Court further ruled that though the plan was lawful, the individual cases of 8 asylum seekers due to be deported that year had to be reconsidered. The Court of Appeal ruled on 29 June 2023 that the plan was unlawful, with an appeal to the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom leading to the concurrence with the lower court on 15 November 2023. The Safety of Rwanda Asylum and Immigration Act 2024 overruled the court's judgment and declared Rwanda a safe country. After Keir Starmer and the Labour Party won the 2024 general election, Starmer announced that the Rwanda plan would be cancelled and replaced by the Border Security Command. The total cost of the scheme is estimated to be 700 million euros, and 4 migrants were voluntarily relocated while it was in place. Rwanda slams UK sanctions over DR Congo violence. So, you see, these days, I think Rwanda is almost like South Africa. They are facing a lot of backlash like it's happening in South Africa. So, hence I'm saying, there is no reason for us African countries to be fighting amongst ourselves, because you know what, we have a lot to deal with. We are caught up in the East and West conflict, all in the name of gaining more power within this continent, and it will take our leaders to take firm position in fighting for the good of our continent. Anyway, this article is by Al Jazeera. Rwanda has said International sanction will reduce the likelihood of peace with M23 rebels in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, after the United Kingdom said it would pause some bilateral aid and impose other diplomatic sanctions on Kigali. The punitive measures announced today by the UK government in response to the conflict in eastern DRC, where the UK has now clearly chosen a side, are regrettable, Rwanda's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a statement. The measures do nothing to help the Democratic Republic of the Congo, nor do they contribute to achieving a sustainable political solution to the conflict in eastern DRC. The UK said the measures on Kigali would remain in force until there was a significant progress in ending hostilities and a withdrawal of all Rwandan soldiers from Congolese territory, estimated by the United Nations to number several thousand. And Rwanda denies providing arms and troops to M23 and says its forces are acting in self-defense against the Congolese army and groups hostile to Kigali. Germany suspends new development funding to Rwanda. That is the recent one, and also this is a press release on the 4th of March 2025. The German government, like the European Union and the Security Council of the United Nations in its resolution 2773, has repeatedly expressed its views on the situation in Eastern Congo and on the actions of M23, which is supported by Rwanda and the Rwanda Defense Forces, RDF, including the capture of the provincial capitals of Goma, North Kivu, and Bukavu, South Kivu. We utterly condemn these actions, which are a violation of the ceasefire based on the Rwanda process and a violation of the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The German government supports the African-led mediation efforts. You see, this almost sounds good. They support the African-led mediation efforts. So they're supposed to be like that on the real now. It's supposed to be like that. They need to support, not to be leading or into when we try and find the solution to our problems and we are being led by the West. You see, those are the things that I don't like. And mind you, these are the things that my eye was almost blind to until AfriForum happened. You see, the veil that was covering my eyes is forever removed. I even hear Julius Malema differently. Somebody that I used to pay no mind to. And I'm like, this guy was telling the truth here and there, here and there, here and there. You know? Yeah, guys, acting in consultation with its partners, Germany will further restrict the scope of its bilateral cooperation with Rwanda. In particular, we will suspend new financial commitments, review existing cooperation with the Rwandan government in the field of development cooperation, suspend high-level participation in the development cooperation events organized by the Rwandan government, and together with other partners, we will seek an appropriate response in the case of multilateral programs. The Rwandan side was informed of this decision in advance when communicating this decision in accordance with the position taken by the European Union. The familiar expectations towards the Rwandan side were reiterated, in particular the calls for withdrawal of Rwandan Defense Forces and for the support given to the M23 to cease. It was also underlined when communicating the decision that Rwanda's security concerns must be taken seriously and that Germany is also in contact with the Congolese side regarding these concerns. A lot is happening, guys, and I just feel like we don't know half of the story that is happening within our continent that involves either the East or the West. I just think we don't know half of it, or maybe even a quarter of it. EU to review raw material deal with Rwanda over DRC conflict, top diplomat. So let us hear what the top diplomat said. Yeah, guys, I just feel like we don't know much. Hey, am I alone? Please, those who know much, please tell us in the comment section. The European Union will consider its recent critical raw material agreement with Rwanda in response to the conflict in the east of the Democratic Republic of the Congo DRC, High Representative Kaja Kallas has said. But the bloc will not follow the US lead in sanctioning on Rwanda officials, with EU foreign ministers rather reaching a political decision to introduce potential sanctions depending on the situation on the ground. The announcement comes week after the Rwandan-backed M23 rebel says control of DRC territory in the province of North Kivu in late January before capturing the major city of Goma and expanding their offensive into South Kivu, prompting international condemnation. Belgium, the former colonial power in DRC, first tabled the suspension of the agreement, with the European Parliament also supporting the move in a recent resolution. We have urged Rwanda to withdraw its troops, and the memorandum of understanding regarding critical raw materials will be under review, Kallas told reporters in Brussels on Monday following a meeting of EU foreign ministers. She added that the EU's defense and security consultations with Rwanda had also been suspended. The situation is very grave and it's on the brink of regional conflict, Kallas said. Territorial integrity is non-negotiable in Congo DRC as well as in Ukraine. The UN Charter applies everywhere. The so-called Memorandum of Understanding signed between Brussels and Kigali in February last year is part of EU's efforts to secure the supply of material used to produce microchips and electric cars. It's part of Global Gateway, the EU's 300 billion euros infrastructure partnership plan, and is among a raft of similar deals with mineral-rich countries, including the DRC, aimed at reducing dependency on geostrategic rival China. This is exactly what I'm talking about. More than 900 million euros of the Global Gateway pod is allocated to Rwanda. The then EU chief for international partnership, Juta, I'm not going to read that name, described the deal as ensuring sustainable, transparent, and resilient value chain of critical raw materials. The deal describes Rwanda as a major player in global tantalum extraction and a producer of tin, tungsten, gold, and niobium. Here, guys, the things that I'm reading for the first time here. It also notes the country's potential for extracting lithium used in batteries of electric cars and rare earths. Euronews has asked the European Commission for more details about what the review of the agreement will entail, but did not receive a response in the time of the publication of this article. So, okay, guys, that's what I wanted to bring to you. That was a long read, especially because the words are so small. For somebody that does not see very well like me, so you must know it's a struggle. You must know it's a struggle. So I tried my best. Okay, guys, this is what I wanted to bring to you. At the end of the day, what I'm saying, the African continent as a whole needs to reposition itself in a way that it is respected, in a way that we take the top part as we are supposed to be, because so many things are made relying on what we have in this African continent. As long as we have greedy leaders that serve themselves and their families and their friends, which seems to be a trend, the entire continent with no exception, we are not going anywhere. We shall forever be disrespected. We shall forever be undermined. We shall forever be seen as people who are not able to govern themselves without the influence of either the East or the West. Most importantly, that worse. If you watched up to here, guys, thank you for watching my videos. This is South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here.